All right, let's dive right into this explainer. We're going to unpack exactly how data transforms from a simple, somewhat boring record of the past into an absolutely powerful tool for shaping the future. If you've ever wondered how the world's most successful organizations seem to literally always know what their customers want, or how they somehow dodge these massive supply chain disasters, well, the secret is exactly what we're looking at today. We are going on a journey through the evolution of data analytics. Data is just everywhere today, right? So here's our game plan. We're going to explore the 4 critical stages of data maturity. We'll start with descriptive analytics, move into diagnostic, then predictive, step up to prescriptive, and finally, we'll talk about actually turning all those insights into real-world action.
So, stage 1, descriptive analytics, essentially answering the question, what just happened? This is where we put on our historian hats. We are summarizing historical data to understand exactly what has already occurred. By turning raw data into dashboards, pie charts, and trend lines, we're really laying the bedrock of all data analytics. Because, let's be real, before you can even think about predicting the future, you absolutely must have a crystal clear picture of the past. It focuses entirely on past data to give you the reality of the situation as it stands right this second. The crucial takeaway here is that we are simply converting raw, messy, past data into meaningful, easy-to-digest information. Imagine staring at thousands of rows in a spreadsheet. I mean, it's totally overwhelming, right? It's practically useless to a human brain. Descriptive analytics does the heavy lifting of summarizing that massive pile of information so you can track performance and spot trends literally at a glance.
Think about running a retail store, and you're analyzing last month's performance. You want to know your total sales, the number of orders you processed, your top-performing products, your overall customer count, the whole shebang. It's basically a factual report card of past performance. Now, it doesn't tell you why sales were up or down, but it establishes the absolute facts of what those sales actually were. It's your baseline. Let's lock in a super easy formula for this. You take your past data, you run a basic analysis on it, you build out your reports and insights, and the end result? A crystal clear understanding of what happened. It is highly effective, but, it's just the first step on our journey. We have the facts, but now we need the reasons.
Which brings us to stage 2, diagnostic analytics. Why did it happen?
Now we're evolving. We're going from the historian to the detective. We aren't just looking at the flat facts anymore. We're grabbing a magnifying glass to find the root causes of a problem. Notice the shift in purpose here. We are taking that descriptive data and we're drilling down way deeper to find the hidden correlations and anomalies.
This stage answers that vital question, why did it happen? And it does it by exploring the patterns. If descriptive analytics tells you that, hey, sales dropped by 20% in April, diagnostic analytics is the process of digging through the data to realize, oh, product discounts were reduced, our marketing activity was super low, and it was just a historically slow season. It turns a simple observation into an actual, actionable insight.
Let's look at an e-commerce company. If they notice a sudden drop in sales, diagnostic analytics helps them pinpoint the specific issues. They might drill into the data and find that the drop correlates perfectly with the recent hike in delivery charges, or maybe longer delivery times in certain regions, or even a sudden spike in negative reviews for a flagship product. By finding the why, they can finally step in and fix the problem.
So our diagnostic formula builds directly on the first one. We take our historical data, but this time we explore and drill down. We actively hunt for causes and patterns, and we use those root causes to make way better, more informed decisions. Okay, so we've solved the mystery of the past, but what if we want to look forward?
That takes us to stage 3, predictive analytics. What happens next?
Here's where we take on the role of the fortune teller. Now look, this isn't magic. Unfortunately, it's not going to help us win the lottery. But it is incredibly powerful math. We can actually start anticipating future business events based on all those past patterns we just uncovered, using confidence levels and historical trends to plot out exactly where the line on the graph is going next. Instead of just looking backward in the rearview mirror, we are forecasting what will happen. We're officially moving from reactive problem solving to proactive planning. And this is where things get really advanced. By applying statistical models and machine learning to our historical data, the system literally learns how different variables interact. Then it uses that learned behavior to forecast future trends with a highly measurable degree of accuracy. It's a game changer.
Going back to our e-commerce example, predictive models allow a company to forecast exactly which products are going to be in high demand next month. They can predict things like customer churn, knowing which customers are likely to cancel their accounts before they actually do it, or they can forecast web traffic to make sure their servers don't just crash during a massive holiday sale. It allows businesses to plan better, experience way fewer stockouts, and keep their customers so much happier.
Our mental formula for this stage introduces the heavy hitters, machine learning and statistical models. We take historical data, identify the patterns and trends, run them through these advanced models, and boom, generate a future prediction. This entirely empowers leaders to make decisions today that are going to protect and grow their business tomorrow.
And finally, the big one, Stage 4, Prescriptive Analytics. What should we do?
We have reached the ultimate superpower. This is where we evolve into the trusted advisor. This stage moves entirely beyond just predicting the future to actively suggesting the very best actions to maximize your outcomes. It doesn't just tell you, hey, it's going to rain today. It tells you to pack an umbrella, leave 10 minutes early, and take a very specific route to avoid traffic. This advanced stage answers the crucial question of what should we do by considering multiple constraints, rules, budgets, and expected results all at once. It evaluates dozens, hundreds, or literally thousands of possible scenarios. It looks at your budget limits, your storage capacity, your workforce availability, and it runs massive simulations to find the single most profitable, most efficient path forward.
In our retail example, Prescriptive Analytics will actually calculate the mathematically optimal order quantity for each specific product on the shelf. It looks at the holding costs of keeping inventory sitting in a warehouse, it weighs that against the stockout costs of losing a potential sale, and it recommends the exact number of units to order to minimize costs and maximize overall profit. It essentially hands management a perfect strategic playbook.
The process here is a tight, powerful 6-step chain. It takes us all the way from collecting the raw data to understanding the goals, generating possible options, evaluating those options against our constraints, recommending the absolute best action, and finally, actually taking that action and measuring the results. It turns raw, abstract insights into concrete, highly optimized actions.
Which leads us perfectly into our final section, turning insights into action. You're probably familiar with some of the toolkit here. These are the wildly popular tools professionals use across all 4 of these analytic stages to turn theoretical insights into real-world business results. Microsoft Excel is almost always where the descriptive journey begins. SQL is absolutely essential for pulling and managing the data. Python, that's the powerhouse for building those predictive machine learning models and optimization algorithms. And then tools like Power BI and Tableau are just brilliant at visualizing all this complex data so that decision makers can actually understand it and act on it. Look, data analytics is one of the absolute fastest-growing fields in technology today. You now know exactly how data transforms. It goes from past history as a descriptive report to diagnostic root causes to predictive forecasts and finally into prescriptive action. The tools are out there and the data is literally everywhere. So the real question I have for you is, are you going to keep just reporting on the past or are you ready to start engineering your future? What are you going to build?